everyone, my name is Munya. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to set goals that are going to be achieved at the end of the year. Goals that can be achievable, not just setting goals for the sake of it. So I'm going to introduce what is called the SMART acronym. With the SMART acronym, it has got 5 letters. And these are as follows. I'm going to explain them later. Each one of them, how they make you set your goal. So with the SMART acronym, we have this S. And the S is specific. So your goal should be specific. When we are talking about a goal that is specific, we are talking of a goal that is clear. There are so many people who set goals that are vague. You cannot exactly point to what exactly do they want to achieve. It's so vague. Let me give an example. When you are setting goals, it's not necessarily financial goals like we spoke about the last time. It can be spiritual goals. It can be professional goals. It can be health and fitness goals. It can be study goals, a lot of different goals, personal development as well. Any goal that you want to set, you need to follow this SMART acronym. So when you are setting a specific goal, it needs to be clear. I want to buy a car at the end of the year. And this car is a Mercedes-Benz. And I want it gray or a 2-liter or something. It's so specific, it's clear. Because cars, let's say if you just want to buy a car, you say, I'm just going to buy a car. Which car? Because there's so many cars. If you go into detail and say, this is the type of car I want to buy, it will give clarity on a lot of other things that are going to follow with you setting this goal. So you need to be so clear about your goal. There are so many vague goals, like this I want to save money. That is not a clear goal. I want to save money for what? I want to save money to do what? It should be clear to that level. So first of all, when you want to set a goal that you are going to realize, that you are going to achieve, you need to be specific. That's the first point. The second one, it's an M. This M stands for measurable. When you are setting your goal, do not leave it open. There is no measure. You cannot just say, I want to, okay, let me give an example of a business goal. To say, I want to increase my sales. By what? What do you want to increase it to? You need to put a measure to say, I want to increase my sales by 5% from previous year. Or I want to increase my sales by 10,000 or something. There should be a measure to it. So even if you are setting your goal, any other goal, a financial goal or any other goal, your personal goal, you need to put a measure. If it's about your health and fitness, maybe you want to lose weight, you need to say, I want to lose how many kilograms? That's a measure. The reason why you put a measure is so that it helps you to check if you are in line with the goal. If you just say, I'm going to lose weight, how now do you measure to say, this is the correct way I'm doing it because I want to target 5 kilograms? So a measure will give you some direction to say, this is where I want to be. So let's say the first one that I gave you, let's say you want to buy a car. You want to buy a Mercedes-Benz or whatever, it's a 2-liter, whatever. You know exactly what you want. You now need to put the measure. How much? How much do you require? How much is it that you need to save towards for you to achieve this goal of buying a car? Do you need a deposit? If you need a deposit, how much is the deposit? And then how much is required after how long? So you need to have a measure of everything that you are going to do. Then your goal will have direction. Then we go to the next letter, which is an A. It should be achievable. A lot of people, yes, you can dream sometimes and then say, you know what? This year for my business, I want to get 10 million. And if you look look at the resources that you have that are available, there's no way you're going to make that 10 million. You don't have systems in place. You don't have the team to do it. So you cannot put such a measure which you say that it's not achievable. It's not going to be real. It's not realistic. Because you are not going to have the resources required for you to achieve it. So when you set your goal, understand what are your capabilities? What are you able to do? Let's say you are going to save money. You want to buy a car and you need to have, specifically that car requires you to save 20,000 if you are going to get it by the end of the year, if you want to get it by the end of the year. But you can see that's the 20,000 you are earning. There's no way you can have that as your goal to say in 1 year I need to raise this money. Then it means you're going to extend the period. Then it becomes realistic. It becomes achievable for you. Then the next one we have, it's reasonable, realistic. It's exactly almost similar to the achievability. Because when it's real, it means it's something within your reach. It's something that is possible, that is reasonable as well with the resources available. I know a lot of people who can tell you dreams, big dreams. I'm going to do this, I'm going to get 50 million at the end of the month or at the end of the year. But you can see this is dreamland. There's no way you can do this because you don't have anything in place that shows how you're going to get this money. And this is also very bad if you set too high goals. Because if you set goals that are not realistic, you're not going to achieve this goal. And what you end up saying is that there is no way you can achieve goals. Goals are difficult. It's impossible. But the reason is not that it's impossible. The reason is that you set the goal too high. At the same time, we also should not limit ourselves. We should try to push ourselves harder so that we achieve goals. So when you are putting your goals together, be very careful. Let it not be too high that you are not going to achieve it and it demoralize you. Let it not be too low that you relax and it's so easy a walk in the park. Let's say someone who knows exactly that last year I made 10,000 sales. If you are going to put to say this year I'm going to make 10,000 again, it means you have not stretched yourself in any way. You have not done anything. And this is going to be an easy goal and you can get to this goal. But when you put an extra, you are going to push yourself. Look at your strategies. Look at how you are going to achieve that. Look at the resources required because you have set a target that is higher but within the achievable limits. So those are the four. That's the fourth one. Then the last one that I'm going to talk about is the T. And this one I love it so much because it's everything. To me, it's everything. This is the time. Your goal needs to be timely. Your goal needs to be time bound. What does this mean? When we talk about the time bound, we are saying that it should have a time limit. You cannot just open up and say, you know what, I'm going to buy a car. When are you going to buy a car? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 20 years? Because if it's open, it means any time. There's no limit. There's nothing that pushes you to get to the point that you want to be. When you say, I'm going to achieve this goal in 6 months, you know exactly how you are going to break down this goal in the 6 months. Because goals that we set, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to work in the 12th month if it's for a year. You start from the month 1, putting everything together. If it's monetary, you know, I need to raise 100,000 in 10 months, meaning I need 10,000 every month. This is where I'm going to do. How am I going to check that I am going to meet this budget or this target? It is when you know your time. Then you can start saying, now I've gone down the 6 months. How much do I have? I should be having 60,000 by now. And you see yourself, you haven't started. You know there's no way you can achieve this goal. Except if you're going to have a lump sum at some point. But this is the reason why you need to have a timeline. Timeline helps you to work towards a certain end. Where do you want to end? In which period? What do you need so that you get to there? So even if you give yourself a target of saying, I need this in 5 years, because the goals are different. There are short-term goals, there are long-term goals. All those goals need to be worked from the moment you start your goal. If you're going to achieve it in 5 years, you still start working towards the goal in the first year. So time is very important to set, that it pushes you. It pushes you. If there's no time limit, you are not pushed. You take it one day at a time, you don't worry, there is no measure, there is nothing. You are just going to work. If it fails in that year, you just say, okay, I'll do it next year, because it's open-ended. There is no time set, there is no target. So you need to have your target. It should be clear. So when you want to set goals that are going to be achieved, you need to always use your SMART acronym. You need to always make sure every element of it has been taken into account. So this is how we are going to set our goals. Going forward, every goal that you have, it applies to your business goals. It applies to your personal goals. Any goal that you have, sit down, look at your goal, be clear, be specific. Put a measure on your goal. Check the achievability of the goal. If it's not going to be achievable, go back to the drawing board. Look at how else you can go around the goal. Put another measure which will make you achieve the goal. Look at the reasonableness of the goal. Look at the time you require. Is the time too little? If it's too little, adjust your time. Is it too long? That is it's not going to push you. Make it shorter. Look at your goal. Go back again. Go back and check and have a goal that is workable. Because we don't set goals for the sake of setting them. We set goals to achieve goals. We want to achieve whatever we set per particular year, per particular period. If you are going to set goals, write down goals, no matter how many goals you have, no matter how amazing the goals are, if they are not achieved, it means nothing. So we need goals that can be achievable. We need goals that we can be proud of at the end of the year or whatever period and say, this is what I've set and I have achieved what I've set. And this is what we need. Just use the SMART acronym. For more tips, for more business motivation, for more learnings on business, on goals, on tax, on accounting, please do not forget to subscribe. Till next time.